What's going on, everybody? Chase on Two Wheels here with Brian, and in today's episode, day 28 of Wreck Bike Rebuild Garage, we are doing the wiring harness, the thing that Brian has been... This I've never seen in my entire time working with Brian, him less excited to do something because it sounds like a nightmare. So buckle up, boys and girls, because we got a lot of work to do. You ready?
I'm ready for my hands to feel like they're gonna bleed for the rest of the day.
Yay! Also, before we get started, if you guys are interested in winning our motorcycles, because we do give these things away, top link down below, patreon.com/chaseontwowheels, you guys could win the motorcycles that we build for $5.
$5?
$5? That's cheaper than a Starbucks.
Good thing I don't drink coffee.
Depending on inflation, am I right? All right, let's get started.
As you showed everyone what we just did.
This is what it'll look like when it's finished. Ooh, ah,
Ooh, ah,
ooh,
ah, ooh.
ah, ooh.
Of all the shit that went down in here, the worst part of the whole thing was putting the starter solenoid in. Can you believe that? So today we get to do all of the least fun stuff on the motorcycle ever. It's a lot of work and nobody ever gets to see it. And we're going to start with our electrical system today. We're going to first drop in the pan that goes underneath the rider seat that holds all the electronics, the battery and whatnot. We have some hose routing to do to make sure that we have our hoses right. Then we have all kinds of harness routing to do. Lots of stuff to plug in, some parts to possibly trim off of the harness. So we're going to get into this today. It's going to be pretty tedious.
Brian sounds super stoked.
Yeah, super excited to lay in a wiring harness and try and figure out where everything goes.
Oh, Bo can put like a smiley emoji on your face.
I already have a headache just thinking about it.
Just look directly at the camera so Bo can put a smiley emoji on your face. This is Brian's emotions right now. Where do we start? Like just put this in and start laying that thing in?
Yeah, I think pretty much we have to start with dropping the pan in. So not really sure how that's supposed to go. So we'll figure that out.
Figuring things out montage.
Yeah, that's going to be the whole thing of today is figuring stuff out. So, okay, Chase, put that in.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think I may have done it a couple of times. I think it requires a really big screwdriver and a hammer.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No hammers?
No. Mm-mm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
I could have swore I used a hammer last time.
No. Definitely not a switch.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to need to pull the throttle bodies up because this big giant gaggly section of harness runs down in between here and there. And there's no way to get that bad boy in there with the throttle bodies in place. So I got a little preemptively excited putting the throttle bodies on, I guess. Everybody knows I love to play the put it together, take it apart game. Let's play another round, shall we? I got the throttle body off. I got this big honking piece of plastic, which I feel like it needs to hook into something else too, but maybe just a couple of zip ties or something will keep it where it needs to be. I don't really see anything else for it to actually hook onto. There was a little hook on this plastic piece on the inside that actually hooks onto the frame rail, so you know that you have it located where it needs to be. So we got that section in. This is the rest of the harness that comes and wraps up over the top of the air box. It houses all the electrical, the ECU, the left and right switch connectors, all that stuff is up on top of here. But what I really need to do is get this harness area back here squared away, because I have to add a part to it. I can stay just like that, and we just need to work on this back section for now. Son of a bitch, I fucking got it.
That's exactly how it sounded.
There are two channels for the wires to go in. There's the negative cable that comes down to the starter and the ground post, then goes to the battery and the starter solenoid. Positive lead up here. This other lead is for the starter solenoid itself, as well as the rear brake light switch is on that little harness here. This is your regulator, which bolts here and here, but you can't have it smashed up against these wires right here because it'll just burn stuff. So it just barely clears, sort of touches. It looks like it's in the dent that's already in the harness. So that looks like it goes just like that.
Yay!
Like a regular.
I need a goddamn drink now. Okay.
Good job, Ryan.
There
Nailed
is
it.
definitely some hardware that we need. It's probably, I have no fucking clue where it is. There's probably a box that has got hardware in it somewhere.
Oh, it just right there.
Tip over sensor?
The fat boy?
Yeah, the actual sensor. So I was thinking about just putting it back here. If I could figure out how to get it to stay right there, that would be pretty awesome. I'm going to mount this right here. I'm going to drill a hole here and then a hole there and in the side. I'm going to run some zip ties through and just tie it off in place. So we got the majority, actually we got the whole harness from pretty much the center line of the bike back installed. We got the tip over sensor mounted. Now we need to work on the rest of the harness from the center bike forward before putting the airbox on and running all this stuff up to the top of the airbox where it lives. There is some harness stuff down here that we need to route properly before we get too crazy here. So I'm going to do that next, then the airbox, and then the harness on top of the airbox, and I think that'll kind of be it.
That's the whole harness?
For that, the harness is in. It still needs to be modified, but it'll be in.
Nice.
Yeah, that actually went a little bit easier than I thought it was going to.
That's it. No, we're just going to continue moving forward.
At least to this point. I got everything routed. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Everything's clipped in place. I got my part mounted that I needed to mount, so feeling really good about that half of the harness. This front half of the harness is, I don't think it's going to be quite as difficult.
Let's find out.
So, okay. it's like right in, you know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we may have a couple small ugly wires.
We'll figure it out.
Because, I mean, this can definitely go,
Into there.
you know what I mean? This stuff can definitely go into here.
Right.
So it's not going to be...
I don't even know if I'm holding it in the right spot.
I know.
We'll have to...
We'll figure it out, but...
At least we have some, space to mess with.
Yep.
And, I mean, if there is anything hanging out, we'll just clean it up the best we can. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a Street Fighter, so, like, my MT-10 has stuff hanging. The MT-09 has stuff hanging, so...
Right.
Man, what's this thing, Brian?
It's called an airbox.
Interesting. Do you think you're in a position that you're ready to start installing the airbox?
Well, I got to get the rest of the stuff that plugs into this plugged in.
Gotcha. Cool. Let's find out what that's like.
So can you guys tell the difference between the new and the old velocity stacks?
Not at all. Could you show us the difference, Brian?
These are the old ones.
Oh.
These are the new ones.
Yes, I can totally tell the difference in the old ones and the new ones.
What it does is when you shorten the intake length, you get more air volume, which makes more horsepower.
So the flat ones are the new ones.
The shorter ones are the new ones, yes.
Was there a reason we swapped out velocity stacks?
This is part of what came in the kit for the head porting.
Got it.
So to make all the porting work to its optimal point,
Right.
you need to get as much air as possible in the engine.
Got it.
So the best way to do that, or the easiest way to do that, is to shorten the velocity stacks.
Problem solved.
This thing has got very, very few pleats in it.
I hate pleats personally. That's
Well-
probably why we chose that one.
Pleats are good when you're trying to filter air.
If you guys are curious what type of air filter we got,
Let's see what model it is. Yep, okay.
Race Spec Air Filter Sport Bike Performance.
Okay, so just to give you an idea of what makes this a race filter,
Hey Brian, what makes that a race filter compared to the regular filter that was inside the bike originally?
you look at the amount of pleats in it.
The pleat is the little wedge?
Yep, every fold. There's probably a third of the folds in it. Every fold slows the air down.
So this has got fast air.
This flows way more air. It also, unfortunately, will wind up flowing just a little bit more dirt as well.
Hey, you know what? You
But
gotta
it'll
take
be
some.
it'll be really fine. I think I need to oil this before it goes in. That one's gross.
Do we need this? or-
Nope. So after you've oiled your filter, you could put it right back in the bike, but you don't want to start it up right away because you want the oil to wick off all of the alcohol that is in the spray that leaves behind just the tacky oil. So you want to give it a minute to do that before you fire it up.
No, just keep doing that.
I need a rag. I think we're done for the day.
Interesting.
We got quite a bit of stuff on here. That went a little bit better than I thought it was gonna.
I like hearing that.
We do still obviously have a lot of electrical to do, but it's laid out, and now we can have a plan of attack on how to modify it.
So where do we go from here?
From here, we should probably get all of the switches mounted, so we can run the rest of the wiring from the switches up to, because this goes right here.
So the next time we'll be doing up top switch things.
Yeah, we'll mount the switches up front. We'll get all that wiring done, and then we can start on the wiring that goes to the front. That's where the wiring for the tip-over sensor begins.
Okay, so wiring up front next time.
Yep.
Cool. Alrighty then.
Now that we have everything laid out, we can have a real good plan as to how we're going to modify the harness and lay everything in. So we got the heavy part of it done. Harness is in, locked down in place, all that other good stuff. So we'll finish off with the rest of the smaller electronics on the next time. We'll do left and right handlebar switches. We'll wire in the ignition switch. We'll get the front mounting bracket with the headlight in it mounted, so we can get all that wiring squared away as well. Good to move along.
It's nice seeing the airbox on.
It is. Now I don't have to worry about laying rags on top of the engine so nothing gets inside of it.
Right. Guys, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. If you want to win the motorcycles we build, link down below for patreon.com/Chaseontwowheels. Thank you guys that are already supporting us, and we will see you guys next time. As with the fixed and outro crew, thank you for getting into the video. We love you guys a little bit longer. How many of you guys have actually done your own wiring harness installation? Because that looks like a nightmare. Let us know in the comments down below. Put OC in your comments so we know you made it to the outro crew. Love you guys a long time. Goodbye.